Perfect. So today we are going to work around envelope art. And I know that Aditi has done a lot of envelope art in the past where she has actually made envelopes and, like folded envelopes and then painted on it, right? So we are quite familiar with the painting part. I thought, oh, why am I muted? Am I audible? Okay, that one is muted. Sorry. It's showing that I'm muted, but actually it's on the other device. Okay. So the envelopes that we've created in white paper, we actually paint on them directly in watercolor. Okay. But today I was thinking we'll do something different because painting envelopes we are doing quite okay. In fact, we can do a lot of things we've done in the past also. But when we don't have paints, we have to consider other mediums. So when I say other mediums, I have with me today some these jelly roll pens or Posca markers, or even for that matter, just your sketch pens. Okay. So what can we do with these kind of tools when we don't have always watercolor handy? That's one thing. The other thing is not all envelope papers, especially if you're not making them, if you are using ready-made ones, are going to have adequate thickness for watercolor. So if you've noticed, normal envelopes we get for cards and things like that, those envelopes are very often printer paper. And printer paper or around that thickness, some 70-80 GSM, cannot hold watercolor. So in such cases, does that mean that we can't paint on those or draw on those envelopes? No, we can. So we just have to decide what medium to use on those such that we can still make art on those. Okay, so we have to know how to make envelopes without watercolors as well. So today, if we can, we'll not use watercolors. We'll use other mediums to make our envelopes pretty. Okay, so I'm just keeping these aside. Now, here I have another thing I've noticed about many people's envelope art, and this is a feedback I've got basically, that when you start doing directly onto a folded envelope or a ready envelope and you make a mistake, it is usually a deterrent, right? Because I've lost that envelope. Now, it's not like envelopes are expensive, but at the end of the day, losing an envelope feels like a little bit of a pinch, right? Right. So I strongly advise doing envelope art for fun, okay, without the this thing of worry of the losing the envelope. So what I'm suggesting today is take a sheet of paper, A4 paper of any color. Now here I have like red color paper or black color paper, any kind of craft material. And if it is thin, don't worry. That is why the whole point is we're trying to learn on this kind of paper. And then let us draw on this directly without folding the envelope. So the point is that if anything goes wrong, you can discard the paper. You don't feel bad. It is not going to ruin an envelope. Okay. And the other thing is that when you do it this way, you tend to keep these safe. Others, what happens, envelopes, I mean, not that you don't keep envelopes safe. You don't use the envelope. You keep it inside. You half the time the envelopes I've made, at least, there's like an entire box full of envelopes I have made, which I don't feel like giving. Right? So why are we wasting envelopes if we don't want to give them away? If we are intentionally decorating the envelope that we are sending somebody, that I can understand. Okay. But hoarding envelopes, I'm not in favor of because I've hoarded far too many. So I'm going to today do all my envelope art on sheets of paper, which are not envelopes. They're just shaped like envelopes. Okay. So I'm folding this one in like an A5 size. This must be, like A5 ka half. So take whatever size you want, doesn't matter. We are just trying to get an envelope shape. Okay. And we will decorate it as if we were decorating a regular envelope. There. For me, that is 2 envelopes. Now, whatever happens on the sheet, don't worry. You don't like it, put it away, use it up for something else, whatever. Okay. So take the pressure off yourself. Next, few things that you have to keep in mind, especially when designing envelope, doing any sort of envelope art. One is that you have to keep in mind there will be postage stamps involved in many cases, especially when you're making envelope art to be sent to somebody. Have to consider. Okay, so I would call this factors to keep in mind. This happens to many of us. We start doing beautiful artwork, and then you know what? I have gone to so many post offices to go and send it to, I've even put my postage stamp, everything. And I have gone to make it, what is it? You have registered post, speed post, all that. No, you sign up for that. You go and give it to the chap, and he will have no space on your envelope to put that barcode. So what do you do? Right, smack on top of your artwork, he'll go and put that barcode. So these considerations are very, very important. Okay. If you are sending your mail with stamps, keep in mind that there has to be place for stamps. Okay. Place for stamps or barcode stickers, whatever the case may be. Okay. The other consideration is place for address. Now, we underestimate the space for address. Okay. So all our envelope art should actually be like what I would say, since we are doing this not to send, we can actually put addresses on it while we are painting. So why don't we consider putting the address there so that we can leave space accordingly? So let's make a mock address. Okay. I'm going to make a mock address of flat number 5. Mock house. Keep an address handy because it allows you to mark the space that you need for an address. Okay. Having said that, let's start with black. Are all both of you working on black paper? Or any other color at the moment?
I don't have black, I have this.
Any dark? Dark paper. Okay, okay. As long as it's dark.
Yes, then white. Now I don't recall where is the black paper.
No, do you have any? Because then we are going in with light color pens.
Let me just check.
And also, if you have now, the condition is of course that you have a white what jelly roll pen. Do you have white jelly roll?
That I have.
That you have, no? Only then it makes sense to have dark pen.
Yeah.
Varsha, you have white jelly roll?
Yes, I have. And can you spotlight your screen?
Yeah, yeah.
So you have taken the A6 size, right? Your A5 folded into half, huh?
Kind of, yeah. I have for now, that was a sheet that was lying around. So it is actually
It's
A5
a postcard size. Okay.
Kind of, yes, postcard size, correct. But you can make it bigger, huh? Don't worry about that because proportion just changes. Nothing. Okay. So now I have some. Just give me 1 minute. I kept the stamp somewhere. I was in a mad rush to run up here. No? Okay, I don't have ready-made stamps yet. Kept them somewhere, but we'll do with make do stamps, okay? I'm going to place 2 stamps here that may be the size of what I am going to get in the post office. Now, leaving this space is important. And the other part is determining how much space you need to leave for your address. Okay. In an address, the name of the person is the one element you can elaborate and do in a lot of very creative ways. You can write the name of the person. What you would not want to touch with the great font or any, for that matter, any illegible form of writing is the address part, the actual address part. Because like Aditi always says, the postman doesn't care for anything except the address, which he should be able to read, otherwise your post will not get delivered. Okay? Just give me 1 minute to get up. I don't know why I keep forgetting everything. Okay. So because this is for fun, you can afford to stick your stamps. Mine is flying away with the fan.
Sir, sorry, is it the Caesar that cuts like this?
Sorry.
Is it the Caesar that cuts the paper like
Yeah,
the
yeah. I have in fact, what is called it's what do you call it?
Zigzag scissors.
Not a
Ah,
scissor. No, it's not zigzag scissor. It is actually a cutter. It's an actual paper cutter, long one, which has got these what do you call it? Blades, different types of blades. Okay. So what you have to do is you get it in different brands. You get it lots of different types. Itsy Bitsy, not Itsy Bitsy. Yeah, Itsy Bitsy has it, but the brands are like Little Birdie. Then we are a Memory Makers. These are all the brands that make paper cutters. So they're very handy to have. It's a long ruler on which these different types of blades can be fixed. And as you fix the blade and run that blade along the ruler, it will cut whatever shape perforation you want on that. So I like that. Why? Because I get 5 or 6 different shapes. So this was stamp shape.
This is nice.
This was stamp shape, and all I did was just take yellow paper or violet paper, whatever, and run it on that, and you get this kind of shape. So it's great fun. Oh, I get nice deck ledges, and there even one where, sometimes you want paper to be perforated so that you can just tear it like, postcards and stamps, perforation, no? So they have one cutter for that also. So it's very nice. You put your paper in between and then just do that perforation line, and it will still be attached, but you can tear it off
Ah,
like
so
without
nice.
scissor that way. Yeah. So it's a very worthwhile investment to have that cutter. All right, so your stamps have been placed, and now you have to worry about the address. Now, when in decorating an envelope, what we have to understand is not always do we need some decorative element like an actual design or drawing to make it decorative. Sometimes an envelope can be decorated with just good lettering. The name could be written beautifully, and that's it. And that could be all the decoration. In fact, a lot of the mail art that I have seen online is just fancy lettering. Okay. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to consider doing some fancy lettering, but with if you have a pencil, we can just draw this out. So I'm going to write the name of the recipient. So in this case, I'll start with Varsha. Okay. I'm going to write Varsha's name over here, but obliquely. Can you see my pencil mark? Okay, now H is coinciding with this. So we should probably consider another angle or the size of the lettering becoming a little smaller. By the way, if you feel that you don't want to try it out directly on the envelope, you can try it on paper. It's never wrong to try on paper. So here's my envelope. the layout of my envelope, okay? Here are my stamps, 2 of them, in fact. Now, what I'm trying to do is write a name like this. Okay. And then we are going to write address here. Okay. And then the rest of the space is ours to do what we want. So here in this case, if we feel like we want to just take the name Varsha and do some flourishing with it, that is perfectly acceptable. So we can consider the flourishes we want to make. Maybe this way, this way, this way. See? Where can we add this? Maybe something here. Now you can play around on paper before you.
And even for a envelope which we are going to post, we can have such a
Yes,
huge
yes.
name.
Because they don't care if they don't care if they can't read this. Many of them will not even bother. Okay. Only if you go and register this or put speed post or something, he'll ask you, "Arey, ye kya hai naam?" So then you can tell the name is Varsha, so please write Varsha. But otherwise, they only care about these lines. And these lines, we are not going to at any cost change make it fancy that such that it is illegible. The whole point is legibility. Okay. So this
Okay.
line, these we are not going to touch. So let's take this example. Now here I want Varsha's name to fit nicely. So my H should come here. Huh? And my V can go lower. See. Now A also I said we will do this. S H E. Okay, so I've managed to fit Varsha's name here. Now I want to write the in lines over here. I'm just probably going to draw some lines. So we can fit how many lines? You want to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And Indian addresses will have more lines than necessary, unfortunately. So that is another big consideration for us when we are drawing, leaving space for address. It's not like American addresses where you have 2 lines sometimes and that's it. Ho gaya, job done. Another thing to remember is leave kind of a imaginary border of about 0.5 centimeter on all sides. Try not to write anything very, very informative in this part. You can do it if you're drawing. If you're drawing something in the along the border, that's fine. I'm talking about your address. If your address letters start to go all the way till the end of your border of your envelope, sometimes the envelope folds and some letters like housing society or a plot number 64. Now 4 goes into the corner and then gets folded. The postman is not going to be able to see 64, right? So try to leave this much of a border, like half a centimeter or so of a border where you're not going to let any alphabet reach. Now here I will first write in this white jelly roll, I'm going to write the address. Now here I want everything left aligned. Sorry, right aligned. So I'm going to keep that in mind. Jelly roll pens are very, very unpredictable. So what I would recommend is please take a paper, keep a paper handy where you can just lightly rub your jelly roll pen, activate it kind of. Okay. I can do this in white or I can do this in... Decide what color you want to do. If you have only white, you can do only white. I'm thinking maybe you could do this in... My white is very light. My blue is better. Okay, I'm using blue, but you can use white. Huh? So keep this very, very legible. Now I'm going to go and letter Varsha's name. At this point, if this is not dry, put a paper over it and then only attempt this. Huh? If you have only white jelly roll pen, you can do the whole thing in just white jelly roll pen. Okay, so you have just this part. And now, if you feel you want to just decorate a few elements on the envelope, you can add simple embellishments. Very, very simple. This I love to do. I absolutely love to do. The same color as the address, I'm going to go in with these sparklers and make them very well spaced out. These sparklers, as much as they decorate the envelope, I don't mind that guy putting his barcode on top of this because it's not that kind of art which is very precious. It's just decorative, that's it. Don't go very close to the address. Okay, you can feel, if you feel that this is too like the thicknesses are the same, go in with your jelly roll again and add some thickness to your letters. Make it a little more thick so that now the word Varsha will stand out more than the address. If you have a Posca marker, you don't have to worry because Posca markers are thicker. So you can straight away get a thickness. So don't have to always do with jelly roll. See, it's already thickening. Oops. That. Should have put this. So Varsha's name stands out a little bit better now with the thickening of the font. Okay, keep this aside. So this is a very plain, rather plain sort of a approach. Now, similarly, if you want to do another one, okay, keeping this kind of a theme, what I will do is I will hold on. This time I will not use jelly roll. I will use. Do you have poster colors by any chance? Anybody has poster colors? No? Then leave it. Then
No.
fine. You do it. Then you.
I might have acrylic.
Huh?
Acrylic might be
Acrylic will also work actually. But it's fine. Today we don't have it. I'll just since Varsha doesn't have it, let's not do poster colors. I'll just show it to you. Okay. I'll show you the lettering part only in poster color. You can do it. So Varsha, you can do the lettering in this thing. You can do the lettering in Posca or something. Okay. The reason I'm showing poster color is because just as an option, like you don't have to necessarily have
But Susan, this
these
looks really
markers.
nice. I mean, I like
Nice.
the white has come on the brown.
Let me
paper.
just see. Hold on. Yeah, very nice. Very nice. Super.
Very beautiful.
Very nice.
So now I will do in Vela, brown in Vela, white pen.
Yeah. Where's my screen gone? Here. It. Now, poster colors are a medium that are very, I'm going to do yellow today. It's very opaque and very easily accessible to many of us who have kids at least at home because there's poster colors lying around everywhere.
Suzanne, I don't recall, but can you help me? The poster color when we use, does the brush also get the same, that rubbery kind of feeling once we clean?
No. Not at all. Not at all. No. Poster colors are entirely like watercolors in that sense that the medium of solvent medium is only water, nothing else. So poster colors like watercolor will get dislodged when water falls on it. It's not like acrylic. Acrylic, once it's dry. Water can fall on it, even on paper or on cloth or anything. Any surface acrylic, it dries. But watercolor, poster color, gouache, all of these are water-based. The moment you put water on top of it, it gets reactivated. Okay. So it doesn't ruin the brush at all. So you can use the same brush as you use for watercolor. Yeah. So don't use watercolor brushes for acrylic. Acrylic you should avoid. Yeah, you should not.
It just ruins the brush.
Totally. So acrylic, in fact, what I do is I keep a separate set of brushes only for acrylic and use that only for
acrylic.
Only for acrylic, yeah. I'm just trying to activate some paint. It needs to be nice and thick, otherwise, this doesn't stand out. Just trying to. I'm going to wing it because I've not written Varsha's name. Not thick enough. Okay, even if it is thin when you're applying it first time, you can always go back and put more. pigment. Huh? Okay, so I've managed to somehow finally paint with poster colors and get some amount of vibrance. Not as much as I hoped. Now what we can do is we can go about this with an outline. It's a very interesting technique. I don't know if I should use a yellow only. Oscar markers, sorry, these jelly rolls are very regularly stop working. Very undependable. Now, look at my outline. I'm continuing with this one, yeah? I'm going to outline the word Varsha with a bubble-like shape, curvy shapes. Okay. Okay. Now it's not looking all that great, but what is going to make it nicer is that we add a shadow to it. And the shadow can be on the left or the right side. I'm going to go with the right, okay? Because I generally like to put my shadows on the right. So I'm going to go in with the same color, which is yellow. Now here you'll notice I'm going with the theme of the stamp itself, and I'm not deviating from yellow. I'm just keeping it all yellow. Now add a thickness to your shape on one side, which is now in my case, right side. Add a thickness only to the right side strokes. So over here, okay. So this gives it a sense of dimension, like as if that thickness has caused it to look a little like it has depth. Whatever it is that's wrapping around Varsha's name is now got a little depth into the page. Okay. And the rest of your address can be written in normal white jelly roll pen. I'm running out of patience with this, with my yellow paint. So, and my yellow marker is not working properly. So I'm just going to leave lines over here so you understand where the line thing goes. If you want to decorate this, you can decorate in, like, you can have many of us are comfortable with florals, so you can consider making florals. Thank you. Simple. I'm just taking yellow flowers and putting them in different places, leaving black centers. So same concept of what I did with the sparklers in the previous one, this time replacing with flowers. Trying to avoid going too close to the address area. Shifting the sizes of your flower will be a good idea. Make it a smaller, bigger, that kind of thing. That's it. So poster colors work just as well for making what you could not make with a jelly roll pen, or if you don't have jelly roll pens, you can do this. Now let's go on to something different. Now another color. Let's take brown. Do you have brown? I don't have brown. I have brown. I have this brownish. It's not like dark, like not the best brown. I don't have brown. Let me take my book aside because we don't need it until we are drawing a pattern. On this note, we can consider doing some motifs. And now we will stick only to black because on brown, as good as white is black. I'm going to go in with a pen and see if I can very, very simply. Here is my stamp space. Let's put some prettier stamp. Okay. We can consider doing a lower border. So a lower border is basically where you do not put the entire border of the envelope. You only do something that comes out from the bottom of the envelope. Or rather, let's say, think of a concept or an idea that makes the design that you are trying to put come from below. Now, that kind of a design, there are many options. One option is flowers. We all know about flowers that come up, spring up from the ground. And we can easily use that as an example here and have flowers sticking out. So let me just show you on paper first. Normal paper, I'm just doing a rough indication of what we are trying to do. Any sort of design that requires you to come up from the bottom. From here, going upward. Okay, we'll leave this whole space fully available for use for writing your address. So your flowers can be here. These could be flowers like this. I'm just showing you an example. Wildflowers. If you're following Sushma's book or something like that, this whole thing can be wildflowers, sticking different types of wildflowers, and that is one concept. Okay. So this sort of a border decoration where only the base of the border is decorated with something that sits on the base is one option. I'm showing you where the address will come. 1, 2, 3. Okay. One option. Another option is think of ideas of things that come up from the bottom other than flowers. What other ideas of things that come from the bottom up? Or rather, let's say, sit on something, surface, something that sits on a surface. So here you can decide to do something along a theme. Now, if you decide that you are sending mail to somebody who's a book, someone who enjoys books, you can have an entire section of books sitting over here. Right? This kind of thing. This is an option. So you have books sitting. Then another option is, and this I had done, which looked very, very cute. Let's say you have an entire village. You're trying to draw houses. Okay. So here's your stamp. Your address comes in the center. And then we are going to go in with pictures of houses. Okay. So this is definitely a concept you can have, where you have houses at the bottom of your sink. So any particular idea we'd like to take forward and do on our envelope? Would you? We are doing the whole thing in pen, huh? Only pen, only black pen on now on brown paper. If yours is brown. So which one shall we try and do?
Both books and houses, they're looking nice.
Nice, no? So we will try. Okay, let's try houses, because this we can add a few more elements and make it fun. Okay, where's my paper? Here. There's my paper. Let's try houses. So before we try anything, space for the name and the decoration has to, and the address has to come before. So I'm going to leave pencil marks here. One, two, three, four, five. Space for my address. Thereafter, I'm going to go in with a design. Okay. Now I've drawn enough with a little gap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a few embellishments. I'm going to add a tree, a coconut palm. Similarly, at maybe a shorter house, another coconut palm. We can have now elements of the building can be made very interesting. So we can have normal, this kind of windows. Then we can have some circular stuff. Then we can have, what else can we have? We can have over here, let's say, I have this kind of a window. This can be a door, normal windows. Then you can have over here fancier windows like this. Each one can be different. This building can have only long-ish windows. Then um, this one can have, let's say, diamond shaped. What's on? It's all quirky anyway. Can even have it darkened. Okay. Your choice how you want to decorate all these elements. Now, in addition to all this, you could have birds in the sky at random places, 2 or 3 birds. Okay, and that makes a full scenery. Now, when you're writing the name, everything's got to fit. So in this case, now I'm going to write Ritika's name. Ritika's name can be written in a nice, see, the style we've employed here is not very, what do you call it? It's not very formal. It's rather informal in its, the illustration. So let's keep the lettering also a little informal. So let's take one of Aditi's lettering. It's there in her book. She does these. I like to make it up and down. Okay. And everything else remains absolutely legible. It looks like we've drawn our art village. Huh?
Yeah.
There. And remember, we needed 2. So simple illustration. Take off all your mark lines and you should be good to go. So very simple, right? You don't need don't need paints, you don't need anything, just a pen. Black pen.
It's very nice.
No? Has a nice charm to it, quirky charm to it. Yeah. Okay. Now this is one sort of a base idea. I told you you can do this with books. You can decide to draw books, flowers, whatever you like. That is your choice. But the concept is basically take any subject that can sit on a line and illustrate it at the bottom, only at the bottom. And it can't go very high because it can't take the space of your address. So it has to fit in this space below. Yeah. Okay. Next, we'll take some white paper. Now, I'm happy to get back to some white paper. And we're going to consider having callouts. Okay. So when I say callouts, you have to consider having a character on your mm, on your page. Let me to now I'm not going to put anything. I'm just going to draw my stamp. I'll just leave one stamp. What sort of character would you like to have? Now we have many choices. We have actual human characters. Now I'm going to show you how callouts work. Callouts mean that you have either a conversation or a single character going on. Snail mail, for example. Because it's snail, consider drawing an actual snail. Okay, so then what would you do? You'd put a baseline, make your snail sit on this. Okay. And let that call out be big enough to fit an address. Okay. This is fun stuff you can do. You can, now this is a snail character with a call out. You can have a conversational call out. So let's say you have two characters. Okay. And we can have, in fact, we could do this actually. We could illustrate this nicely. Let's say we have a giraffe. Having a conversation with another creature. And it could be something as small as a bird. It could be any other creature that you'd like to think of. I'm out of ideas of creatures. Let me see. Giraffe having a conversation
With zebra.
yeah. Or no, why consider, why have to have another giraffe? Let it be the giraffe theme.
Yeah.
So if you're on in some place where you have some exotic stamp, you have another giraffe, put him there, and one will have your name. One guy will speak your name, and the other guy will have your address. Okay, and your postal stamps come here. So having callouts to have add to element art is also a great idea in terms of, now here because it's a white paper, I'm going to color in the giraffes also. And this time I'm going to use sketch pens because handy stuff. Okay. So let's do the giraffe. Freehand. Let's just draw the giraffe. If you want ideas for how the giraffe can be drawn, of course, there's plenty of stuff on Pinterest. Just take any animal. A giraffe can be drawn like 1,000 different ways. Huh? I've drawn one that I'm used to drawing with that nose looking, the spout, the jaw looking this way. You can draw giraffe in other ways also. There are many people who draw giraffe this way. So it's just a full face and a mouth and a nose and your kind of the horn thing. Okay. And this is also acceptable if you have a neck. Basically, the snout has to look standing out. Oh, it's not, it's blurred. Hold on. This one. See? So you should be able to draw giraffe. It should look like a giraffe. Basically, you can't miss the spots. Okay. You can't miss the spots, and the rest of it will be all right. Come, let's draw some giraffe. There's another interesting way to do this. Let me draw it. First of all, I want to have your name come here. So I'm just placing this thing. Okay. And then your address can come here. Placing this is very, very important because, yeah, then we know where to place the giraffes. Okay. I'm going to make it a little more quirky. Let's see if we can do this. one guy over here. Okay, with his neck and everything. Maybe his face could be bigger. And another guy over here. In fact, I like this giraffe. It's very cute. I'm thinking maybe this style also is nice. And he just comes from the side. So maybe he could be closer. Let me see. I'm thinking out loud here. No? The giraffe would look better. I think this fellow only. I prefer the other giraffe. All right. Let's do this. Now, this would be great with a stamp that is maybe themed around wildlife or something. Then you're assuming that there is some wildlife theme thing here, and there is actually a giraffe in your picture. It would be really good. All right, now the call outs. So here I'm going to have him speaking. And then this fellow. Erasing all my pencil marks. If not sketch pens, even color pencils, if you have color pencils, will work. I have crayons. Okay. Point for choice. Brown spots, no? So let's take the spots have to be, the giraffe spots have to be slightly smaller at the top and larger as they go down. And little quirky in design, like thoda. Crayons, I mean, sorry, color pencil, sketch pens. Top of this also is usually brown. You can put some brown patches on the side of the face near the top, but not too much. Takes away from the. The reason I'm going with sketch pen first actually is because the rest of the body is going to be yellow. And I want to color that in with I want to color that in with crayon. There you go. Okay. Forgot about the guy and then on the stick on the. Give him also some. Using my X colors, yellow color. Do it in pencil also if you don't have colors, you can do it in pencil. Now the mouth part is usually a little darker than the rest of the yellow. So you can take the brown that you have in pencil colors, or if you're doing sketch pens, then a lighter brown, just to show the demarcation. This can be birds, huh? This can be birds, dogs. If it's a dog lover, maybe something with a two dogs having a conversation. All great options. In fact, I'm just thinking this guy can have some leaves in his mouth. Why not? Cute, no?
They'll get a chuckle when they
Yeah.
see this envelope also. So cute.
It is cute. That's the thing. Everything doesn't have to be serious stuff, you know. That's what sometimes I feel we get bogged down by art because everything has to be serious art. It doesn't have to be serious art. Who said serious art? Art can be enjoyed this way also. The other day, my daughter saw me coloring with her crayons, and she said, "Mama, why are you using mine? Like, you want to make it like childish?" I said, "No, childish. Everything is just because I'm using crayons doesn't mean it's childish."
I'm just wondering, how much they also probably start to compare, maybe it's
Yeah.
how the adults would draw, but this is how a child would draw.
Correct. Yeah. And sometimes I feel we ourselves, we feel like, "Arey, but like this we'll draw what?"
No, that's true, Sunan.
Yeah. And what is wrong with this? No, this also puts a chuckle on your face. It is not like you look at this and say, "Oh, it's also too childish." No, right now in today's day and age, we do not get enough art at all from anyone, forget child or otherwise. So what is the harm in having a little color to your page, right? Now, what I would do is with pencil now here, because I want to write a name, I will now also again think, see, it would be great if I could write according to the style that I'm following. So here I will do my, we can do something quirky. Let's see if quirky is possible, because sometimes we ourselves don't know how to do quirky stuff. Something like this.
Mm.
You can do this, you can do anything actually. No, maybe not this. Actually, even if I do plain capital letters, see, write out capital letters as it is, okay? And just put dots at the end of it. This is my content. Put dots at the end of everything. That's it. Even that looks nice. But as always, the rule about address, we keep that absolutely straight.